Good morning. Have a little technical issues, but hey, how appropriate since we're talking about mental exhaustion today. Technology, of course, leads to mental exhaustion. So, for those that don't know me, I'm Virginia. I'm an executive coach helping corporate leaders optimize their productivity while prioritizing themselves to avoid burnout. I spent 24 years in the banking and finance industry where I worked from a teller to small community bank to senior vice president of a $27 billion bank. At one point, I was reporting to the chief risk officer, and I was definitely living in a state of burnout. Traveling once or twice a month, board presentations, and of course, I believe that the more success you have, the more you are given, the more you must give. So in addition to all my demands at work and with my staff, I took on more in my community. So I've been there, done that, and now I'm looking to help others have that success and be able to give and not be burnt out. So, last time we talked about, now that we're coming out of the pandemic, our calendars are starting to fill, and that's creating chaos, not just on our calendars, but even for us shifting and adjusting. Well, how do you handle the mental fatigue, right? We had this even before the pandemic. Well, the first thing is you've got to recognize it. Now, you might be feeling physically run down a little bit or a little tired. Maybe your eyes hurt. But maybe physically you're fine, right? You're getting in your workouts, you're getting everything done. You're on the go. But mentally, you're just like, I can't process another thought. My mind is running, and you kind of feel like that hamster wheel. There's a lot going on, but you're not getting anywhere. You're exhausted, physically exhausted at the end of the day, and your head hits the pillow, and your eyes are too tired to open, and there goes that hamster wheel. You're thinking about this and that, and you're like, oh my God, I just shut off. I just can't. I need a break. So the first step, recognize your signs. And it's going to be different for everybody. I've talked to a number of corporate women, and many of them are at the point where they've started to recognize their signs. So kudos to them, and kudos to you if you have reached that point. That's awesome. Awareness is the first step. And it's going to be different for everybody what kind of your sign is that it's time to just take a break. It might be that you realize your patience level is about this much, right? You're snapping not just at people at work, but your spouse, your kids that you normally wouldn't snap at. And maybe you don't normally snap at your team or your peers, but it's like that. And you're like, that's not my usual tone. I usually have a little bit more patience. Or somebody points something out at work and you're like, crap, I missed that. I'd never miss that. For me, it was kind of a weird one. My dreams at night would include my coworkers. No, I wasn't dreaming about work, and no, it wasn't anything inappropriate, but they were just random players in these random dreams at night, which meant to me, I'm like, I need a break from you guys. You're starting to occupy my mental space at night. You're a great team, but I need a break. So it took me a few years to realize that. So start noticing. I'm not saying you have to go through some big exercise or journaling. Just pay attention. All you have to do is pay attention, and you'll start to see, oh, yeah, I'm starting to do that. Okay, I need a break. And what your break is and your recharge, that can be different too. I know one woman who, when she starts to feel she's getting short with her family, Or, she's just not excited about her work, which she normally is. She's just not in it. She's like, all right, I need a break. And she lets her family know, I'm going to go on the couch for the day and I'm going to binge watch whatever. Don't bother me. Just let me be. I need this. So, great. It's not a huge ordeal. She doesn't need to go away to some fancy spa for 2 weeks or, go climb Mount Everest. She just needs a day to just mentally veg out. And they respect that. And they know mom works hard, not just at work, but in her community. And it's best for everybody, right? Like, just give her the space. Another, she's got younger kids and her own business. And she's like, you know what? I need a few days. And she leaves her husband and the kids at home and goes to a friend's and just hangs out without her family. And they support her. Dad can manage the baby on his own. But she's like, I need this. And they recognize, we need you well. And she does that. Others say, you know what? I need a break. I'm turning off my work email for a couple days. I'm not going in the office. I'm not checking. I need time for me. That's okay too. Now I know some will say, oh yeah, my superiors at work and our executives, we tell everybody that. Take the time you need. Zoom-free days. But that's easier said than done. I get that. But you can do it. Trust me. I would pick my vacation spot based on their device restriction policies. Seriously. They wouldn't let you use the device except in your room and a parking lot, something like that. And I knew if I told my superiors and my peers, listen, I'm a rule follower. That's part of the role I have here. I make sure we're following the guidance but the government gives us. I'm going to follow the rules at this resort. And they would respect them. And odds are, some of them at least, if I said I'm disconnecting for a few days, I'm going away on vacation for a week, I wouldn't have heard from them. But I couldn't give myself that permission. So, give yourself the permission to say, I need a break from a couple days. I need to go spend Saturday on the couch watching, I don't know, whatever your favorite Netflix thing is. Or I personally binge watch Schitt's Creek because I just think it's funny. So do whatever feels you. Maybe it's, listen, I'm just going to go sit on the deck or by the river or go to the beach and put my toes in the sand and read a good mystery, a romance novel, trashy magazines on celebrity gossip, whatever, just to shut my brain off, take my brain away from work and family and commitments and trying to better myself. I'm just going to go shut down for a day, a weekend. I'm going to take Tuesday and Wednesday off of work because there are light days on my calendar and I just need a break. Maybe you might find, here's the signal. Here you might be thinking you're doing great self-care and you go for a massage, right? Good for your muscles, good for your mental well-being, And you find, is your face down? If you've ever gotten a massage, you know what that means. And your mind is on nothing but work. Oh, I got to respond to that call. Well, really? That might be one of your signs that says, okay, I need some time away. It doesn't mean physically away. It means mentally away from the demands on you. Because if you don't take that time and you keep fighting it, one, it's going to manifest physically. You're going to get run down, right? Because you're pushing too hard. Your body's going to react to that mental strain. Personally, I would try to do that. Guess what would happen? I'd fall asleep. And they're like, oh, great. You slept at night. Awesome. No, I mean like in meetings or while driving to work. Let me say that again. I fought the mental exhaustion to the point where I physically fell asleep driving to work on the interstate. Stupid. Yeah, I know. It took that to be like, you know what? I gotta do something different. Don't do that. Be smarter than me, please. Start to notice these things in advance and realize you need to do something that mentally shuts you down to recharge, right? You power down your laptop, you power down your device periodically because it needs a break. You ever have your phone be hot to the touch and it just says shut down, right? I would use Waze to drive to one of our offices that was a couple hours away. I'd have the audiobook going. Of course, I was getting notifications from my work email, my personal email, text, whatever. And I remember at one point looking and it says phone shutting down, overheating. Same concept applies to us. You know, when I would fight that, like I said, I sleep. So after learning don't fall asleep in traffic, I started to listen to the signs. And I remember a couple of times, even as recently as this weekend, my body said, we're done. You have mentally exhausted us. We're shutting down. Like I physically couldn't keep my eyes open. I was tired, mentally, physically. I'd sleep. And I don't mean, a nice, good 8-hour night sleep. I mean like 12, 15 hours. 12 or 15 hours. So I basically lost a day of productivity too in the end. So now if you're thinking, well, wait a minute, you're telling us to take a break. But that's because I wasn't paying attention to the signs and going, oh, let me get in front of this. I went too far and my body said, done. Right? Even when I talked to one woman who recently had to take a weekend or a couple days to just get away from her home, her family, to recharge. She goes, you know what? I went too long. Don't wait for it to be too long. It's simple. Start looking for the signs in the change, right? It's in your energy level and your excitement level about what you do. Your patience, your tone, your temperament with people. Is it changing? And when I say changing, is it all getting shorter? Are you fighting? Are you reaching for that extra cup of coffee every morning or that extra caffeine source? Because your brain is not functioning and you're like, I'm just going to feed it caffeine and sugar and we're going to push on. That's not going to sustain. Okay? If you're starting to feel that way, say time out. Time out. And maybe right now you don't know what recharges you because you just been pushing on. Try something. Go binge watch something. Pick up a book that you've been dying to read that is completely not going to help you manage your time better, advance your technical skills in your career, teach you about some new hobby you want to look. Just a good book. And if you fall asleep reading it, awesome. I used to try to take Sunday afternoons, like from 2 o'clock to like 4. Go sit out by the river behind my house with a James Patterson book or Nicholas Sparks. Some good mystery. I like mysteries. And I would get lost in the story. And usually nod off. And then wake back up and read a little more and then be like, all right, I'll go make dinner. And I did it a couple hours every Sunday. And you know what? It helped. It was a little bit of time that recharged me. If you're a Christian, and you remember the story of creation, on the 7th day, God rested. So let's think about that. Even if it's not your belief system, right? Just play along with me for a minute. The story is, every day, Another part of the world was being built. The sun, the earth, the animals, the plants, the fish. When it was all done, one day of rest. So if the creator of the universe, again, whether this is your system or not, took a day off, don't you deserve a day off? Just say. Right? That was a lot of work. One day of rest. Find what works for you. Personally, toes in the sand, not going to relax me. I don't like sand blowing on me. I don't like crowds at beaches. Not a big ocean person. Sitting next to the river, totally another story. Find what works for you. So this is your homework. 1, recognize the signs. Start to see when you're getting run down mentally. Whether it's noticing change in your quality of work, your patience with people, your maybe it's even a change in your diet because you're looking for more sugar and caffeine to just push on. Whatever it is, hopefully it's not your coworkers in your dreams. Ugh. Learn your signs. If you already have, great. Listen to them. When they appear, when you notice it, say, okay, time out. I need a break. The sooner you realize it, the shorter the break is. So in the end, you'll actually gain productivity. Because if you push on too hard, you're going to crash harder and need a longer recovery. Right? Highly competitive athletes. I don't mean those of us that play in a pickup game or thought we had a shot in high school. I mean serious athletes. Before a big game, match, race, they rest. They train hard, they rest. They perform at their best. So, know your signs. Listen to them. And then find what recharges you. Try, if you're not sure, try different things. The only way you're going to know is try. If you're like, oh my gosh, I went for a hike. It was awful. Okay, don't do that. You know what? I sat down with a book or crossword puzzle, Sudoku, whatever. It was awesome. Totally refocused me, shut me down. Mentally, I felt great. I binged watch whatever for a day. I took a 4-hour nap on a Friday afternoon because I took the day off of work. It was awesome. And then Saturday, I slept in. Great. Or you know what? I turned my phone off completely for a day. Nobody could reach me. No alerts popped up. I felt fabulous the next morning when I turned it back on. Try. It's going to be different for everybody because you are all unique. See what works for you. And if you're not sure where to start, that's what I'm here for. Reach out. Text, email, website, virginiawalton.com. Drop a comment on Facebook and LinkedIn. We have the technology. Reach out. I can help you. Together we can find what works for you so that you don't fall asleep in traffic or sleep for like 2/3 of a day. I can't do the math. And remember, maybe you didn't need to hear this right now, but somebody you care about might. So pass it along. You never know who you might help. With that, be well, my friends. Have a wonderful day.